Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm Sankey84 and may the 4th be with you. Yes, it's that time of the year again, Star Wars Day, and what better way to celebrate it than to have a special Star Wars episode. Now, I was going to originally do the first Knights of the Old Republic, however I did realise that even when you speedrun the first planet, it's still a fair amount of time until you actually get your lightsaber and first lot of Jedi powers. So I thought, well, what other game could we play? And I realised that number 2, you get your powers relatively early on. So let's get into it and enjoy the magic of Star Wars. Now, before I do start, there will be one point where I may have to do a bit of improv because I'm not sure whether YouTube will allow it or not. So at that section, I do apologise for the replacement I put in place of the classical Star Wars music, but unfortunately my hands are tied on that part. Other than that, let's enjoy. So the first thing we need to do is pick our character, and while there is 6, you will notice that there's actually a lot of overlap. So 3 male, 3 female, 2 of them, one male, 1 female guardian, 1 female, 1 male sentinel, and 1 male and 1 female consular. We're going to be playing as a consular because they use their Jedi powers more than any of the others, and what is a Jedi without a lot of Jedi powers? So we will select and custom our character, and we will get to choose. Now, there's not much customization involved, it's literally just picking a face that we like. So I am going to go with the Obi-Wan Kenobi-esque look. Next we get to pick our attributes. Now, I have not put a lot of thought into this at all, because, well, it's not going to be a full series, this is just a one-off episode, so I'm just really looking at what's best for now. So I've set first everything up to standard or average, and because we are going to be using our Jedi powers more, we're going to get our wisdom up to +3, intelligence and charisma up to +1. No, we'll put charisma and intelligence +2 actually, and then we'll put strength up to +1. Yeah, I think that should be fair enough for now. And now we get to pick our skills. So as you can see, we've got green and orange. So the green are skills that we can use but are not really ideal for the character we've chosen. So they will cost 2 points to increase, whereas the awareness ones are actually classed as our type of skill, and so they only cost 1 point. So to start off, we're going to fill up to maximum our class points and then go on to our feats. Now, these are abilities that you were given to customize your character to play as you want. Now, you are given a selection to begin with depending on your character, but then you are given the choice to select one more. Now, as you can see, there is a fair few to choose from and plenty that are locked behind levels. And while it is tempting to unlock another class, I'm not going to do that at this moment in time. I am going to go with empathy, because that then gives a bonus point towards persuade, awareness and treat injury. Next is the most important part, the name. So let's just see if there's any decent random names available. Okay, so we have gone through a fair number of them and couldn't find a suitable name. So say hello to Yankus. And for those who have noticed, yes, that is just Sankey backwards, but isn't that how all Jedi names are made? So, now we've got that, let's click play and listen, hopefully, to that beautiful soundtrack. Doesn't that send chills down your spine every time you listen to it? Assuming we were allowed to listen to it. I do try and stay quiet during cutscenes, and that just in case there is anything happening or any speech, but I do know in this section there isn't, so I don't mind talking through this bit. But yeah, so if I do go quiet, it's usually because there is somebody else talking and I don't want to talk over them where we might miss something. But there we are now waking up from our cryo sleep. I'm guessing that's what that sort of these tanks do, as well as, you know, heal you up and anything else. But we'll just come through here, have a quick look around. Now this door is locked, but we can get through it if we try and bash. But
emergency lockdown.
We're not. Obviously, the game's not going to let us get through there yet. So let's go through here. And containers, as in any game, are great to check out. Never forget to check the container, especially because that one had some med packs in it. Now we'll use the computer here and just quickly go through all these logs and see what's going on. Okay, so in there it was just a bit of lore about what happened and how you were drugged and that there's been issues on the station, but nothing at the moment that we need to worry about. So I've just opened all the doors that I can, and now we're just going to collect a few little bits. And now run into here, and there is the woman who is meant to be dead, but yet no signs of what killed her. Over to this corpse of one of the miners who was killed by a robot, and he has the plasma torch on him. And look, the woman gets up from her death sleep.
Find what you're looking for amongst the dead?
I heard it as I floated in the Koto tank.
Yes, I had hoped as much. I slept here too long and could not awaken. It may be I reached out unconsciously, and your mind must have been a willing one. Or perhaps you have been trained for such things.
So, you can touch minds and feign death? Who are you?
I am Kreia, and I am your rescuer, as you are mine. Tell me, do you recall what happened?
The last thing I remember, I was on board a Republic ship, the Harbinger. What happened to me?
Your ship was attacked. You were the only survivor. A result of your Jedi training, no doubt.
How do you know I was a Jedi?
Your stance, your walk tells me you are a Jedi. Your walk is heavy. You carry something that weighs you down.
Let's deal with the now. What is this place?
I do not know. I was removed from the events of the world as I slept. A survey of the surroundings may provide the answers we seek. The ship we arrived in must still be in this place. We should recover it and leave.
Care to explain why you're in such a hurry?
We were attacked once, and I fear our attackers will not give up the hunt so easily. Without transport, weapons, and information, they will find us easy prey indeed.
Okay, so here's the first skill check that we have. Because we have put points into awareness, it gives us the chance to pick up on various character traits, and we can see that she is nervous about something, so let's go with that one. So, you seem nervous, worried. Is something wrong?
Even as I slept, I felt much unrest here. I saw strange visions, minds colored with fear. Now, everything here feels terribly silent. I would find out as much as you can about this place quickly. I fear we will need to depart as suddenly as we arrived.
I'll go look for our ship and some weapons.
You may wish to extend your search to some clothes, if only for proper first impressions.
Okay, and because we went through that medical database a moment ago, we did find out that we were heavily drugged. Actually ended up killing the 4 other people in the tanks, but we did survive. So now we've got a choice. We can either just, so we could just persuade or persuade and intimidate, but I think we'll just go with the persuade for now. There's no need to get to intimidate her yet. The patients in Red Bay were killed by a lethal dose of sedatives. Any idea how that happened?
I do not know. Why did they spare you?
They didn't. I got the same dose, but I survived.
Indeed, a Jedi trance could protect one from such poisons. In fact, the sedatives may have been intended to keep you unconscious for some time. It would prove lethal to those untrained in such techniques, however. Most curious.
You seem to know a lot about Jedi techniques.
And so do you. Perhaps we could discuss it at length later on. Now we have other concerns, among them finding our new enemy.
I'll return soon to make sure you're okay.
I leave you to the explorations of this place. Here I will remain and attempt to center myself.
Okay, and there we go. We've got our first light side point. Now, this game is full of consequences, and your actions will determine how the game plays out. While the main storyline does stay the same, characters will react to you depending on your siding, whether you're light, dark or neutral. Yes, you can actually stay neutral in this. And depending on your actions and your choices and where you are on the force scale depends on the ending you get. So, like there, if I had gone on the persuade and intimidate, that light side point would actually be a dark side point. But for now, let's just move on with the story. So, nothing else we can do here. Now we've got the plasma weapon, so we will just come into here and equip it. And then use that to open the door. So there we go, experience for doing that. And there are a couple of corpses as soon as we get through. And thankfully the first one actually has a proper weapon on him, a viral blade. So we'll be getting rid of this torch now and swapping it for the viral blade. And while we could hold both, we're not really spec'd into two-handed, so into dual weaponry, and so we would end up having a debuff against us if we have the two. Now, combat. This is a real-time, turn-based, pausable battle situation. So everything plays out in real time. However, your attacks and throws and medical things all have a timer on them that is behind the scenes, and the same goes for your opponents, and you get to attack when that timer hits 0. Now, depending on what attack you do, depending on what your likelihood is of hitting and what damage you do. So, flurry, you get 3 attacks in 1 round, but the attacks don't do as much damage and they're not as accurate. You've got power attack. Now they take a longer time to do 1 single attack, but when they connect they do more damage. There is just your basic attack, so all stats are standard, you don't get any bonuses or negative effects on it. And critical is exactly what it says, that is a critical hit if you connect, but it is 1, harder to hit with, and 2, takes a fair bit of time. So it's kind of a... So what we're going to do is, because these are just your basic first level robots, we're just going to do a couple of flurries, and you can chain up your attacks. So so you can chain up your attacks, so you don't need to keep going in and out and trying to keep up. So we'll just start battle off now. So as you see, that's one down there, and the second one, nice and easy, baby's first fight. But just make sure you do check in case they have anything on them, like there is a mining laser on that one. He didn't have anything on him. So let's carry on to the next room and the next fight. Yep. So they got a quick attack in on me before I was ready, but thankfully I rolled a nice dodge, so we didn't get hit. You can just take these down pretty quick without too much trouble. There we go, that's them down. Nothing on these ones, so we'll just move on. Broken droid here with a few bits on, so there we go. Droid deflector and impact armor. Okay, so when we get a droid in our party, they can use that. And there's an emergency hatch.
This is the exit, but it is sealed. Strange. In my visions, it was open.
Find a way to open it, but there isn't any. So that's the way off this place, so we've got to find a way to open that door. So for now, let's move on. And just search the corpse. There we go, that's handy. And we will. Now, because I haven't got any points in lockpicking, or security in this case, I can't try and open this normally. I will have to use the bash. Now, the thing with bash is it doesn't matter how strong the lock is, bash will always open the container eventually. However, it does run a risk of one or more items in the container being destroyed. But we don't have a choice at the minute, so bash away. And he missed. And he missed again. Oh, there we go, we got one hit in there. Okay, I'm not rolling very well at the minute. So hopefully we will... Oh, there we go, a 6. It's a bit better. Nope, another miss. And this, as I say, there we go, we finally got through. And actually that broke 2 items in there, but did give us 2 iron grenades. So we're going to get all them, because as we're facing robots, iron grenades will come in handy. So just use the security desk now, and there are records, so we're just going to quickly go through them. Okay, so in there it was just a lot of backstory about what happened again before we got here, and just saying that the head of security set up a remote on one of the terminals to shut all robots down on this level, but we're not going to be bothering about using that.
Be careful. There is much energy in the room beyond, yet it stems from nothing that lives. Can you not sense them? Reach out. Cast aside your sight. Cast aside what you see, and instead reach out with your perceptions. Ah, you can feel them. The droids you cannot perceive, but the small oscillations of energy, that you can feel, echoing outwards.
Okay, so with Kree's help, we've gained the passive So with Kree's help, we have gained the passive precognition power. So when it's triggered, it recommends saving your game, but I don't think we need to at this point. So let's just go into the next room, and there is 3 robots in here. So we'll just quickly take them down. 2 down, 1 more to go, but we'll do it in a moment.
It is there.
What's happening?
It is the Force you feel. It has not been so long as for you to forget.
It's been almost a decade. I had forgotten.
Do not turn away from it. Listen. Feel it echoing within you. Come. I shall guide you down the familiar paths. You will need it if we are to survive and escape this place.
Okay, so that's just then saying if you gather experience, you can connect to the Force and level up. So let's just quickly finish this robot off here, and then we will level up before carrying on. Now, the one good thing about this game over the first one is you, as you level up, you are actually leveling everything up in one go, where the first game you kind of started over halfway through but kept your levels, so it was a bit of a downer on that, but never mind, we can level up now. So as you can see there, just to the left of us, we have our Force allegiance. We are currently neutral, so that is good for now. So let's level up. I don't really recommend auto leveling up, but I mean it's there as an option. Now we have been given 2 feats to begin with, so we become force sensitive and the ability now to punch a little harder. But now let's put our skills in. We've been given 4 skill points, but because of the locks that we've been coming up against, I'm going to use 2 of them to put our security up, so we can at least attempt to try and get through some of these security doors. I also want persuade up for the conversation and awareness. And now we get to unlock our first force power. So as you can see, there are a fair number of force powers. Most of them look behind different levels, and as you can see in the description, there are dark, neutral and light side. Now they doesn't matter if you are going to go down a light side path, a dark side path, a neutral path, or like I'm going to do today, just play for what's beneficial at that time. You can use any force power you wish. However, there is an upside and a downside to that. The universal ones are standard for any user, so it doesn't matter where your force allegiance is, it will cost the same amount of force power to use that ability. However, if you were to get, say, force lightning, well, force shock, force lightning and force storm, they would cost you a certain amount of force powers if you were neutral. The more towards the dark side you lent, because that is a dark side power, the less force power it would use, but the further to the light side, the more force power it would take, and vice versa. If you were to say take stun, stasis and stasis field, which are all light side, the further to the light side, the less force power used, the further to the dark side, the more. But we're going to go with a universal one to start off with, a burst of speed. Not only is it handy for moving around areas quick, it's a good advantage in battle. So let's just add that, and we've now level 2. So now you can see here that now we've got a level 1 in security. We can actually try and pick the lock. There we go. Nothing was damaged, so we've got a stealth field generator, med packs and more grenades. So we will grab that, and if we just go here and have a look at the field generator, a device that enables stealth mode. So we can now stealth if need be. But how often do you see Jedi actually being stealthy? Try and unlock this one. Yep, easy enough. So we've got some components, some chemicals and more grenades. Right, through here. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So that's the end of the tutorial part, shall we say. While we have skipped the prologue, but as soon as we move into here, there are a number of robots to take out. So let's go and kill this one first. And there are more. So now with a lot of games you would just go and you'd have to attack. But with this one, you can actually wait until you get into a bit more of an advantageous position. You can run around a bit and wait for force power to come up before using them, but let's just kill it. And it does affect their hit rate. If you are running alongside them, like I'm doing here, it's harder for them to hit you. Whereas if you're running straight at them, well, there's more chance of them hitting you. So there is one more, I think, around here. Yep, over there. So let's go and quickly take this one out. Go. There. Oh, no, we missed one. So So you've got bad aim, but never mind. You don't need to worry about that anymore. Right, that should be all of them down. And this control panel over here, we could have ran straight here to shut the robots down, but we don't need to. The only reason I'm doing it now is to shut that force field down. So there we go, that's some more experience there towards level 3. And now we'll just pop into this room here.
Beyond this door, someone yet lives. Be mindful. His thoughts are difficult to read. But you have nothing to fear from this one, and he might yet prove useful.
And I've not started because I know this goes into a bit of a cutscene in a moment, but you kind of get to set the rules of the game at this point through this conversation. It is meant to be carrying on from the first game, so you kind of get to pick how did the first game end, and that will determine certain characters who will be appearing later on and certain events to happen.
Nice outfit. What, you miners change regulation uniform while I've been in here?
You got a name or just a big mouth?
Atten Rand. Excuse me if I don't shake hands. The field only causes mild electrical burns.
Care to explain why you're locked up?
Security claimed I violated some trumped-up regulation or another. Take it up with them if you want. But they stopped listening to me shortly before they stopped feeding me. Now that's criminal.
The facility's deserted. What happened?
You mean before or after that Jedi showed up? Either way, it's a real short story. You see, this Jedi shows up, and you know what that means. Where there's one Jedi, the Republic will soon be crawling up your ion engine in no time. But the story gets better. See, some of the miners get it into their ferrocrete skulls that since the Jedi's unconscious, they can collect the bounty the exchange has posted for live Jedi. Well, what passes for the law here didn't like that idea. So the two groups started fighting.
Then there was some big explosion, and then I was sitting here for a long time, waiting for some half-naked miner to show up and ask a bunch of questions.
There's a bounty on captured Jedi. Why?
Don't know much about it. Maybe the exchange wants one as a trophy, or somebody's got something against Jedi and is looking to collect. Not many Jedi left. Wouldn't surprise me if the bounty's pretty high.
Not many Jedi left. What happened?
The ones that weren't killed in the Jedi Civil War ended up switching off the lightsabers long ago. Word is there's not even a Jedi Council anymore, but who knows?
I had rumours of a war, but a war between Jedi? Or should we go with... No, the stories I heard were of the Sith, not the Jedi.
Yeah, Revan, Malak, and the Jedi that went to join them in the Mandalorian Wars. They turned against the other Jedi and had a scrap that almost laid waste to the galaxy. Where have you been?
I've been... away since the Mandalorian Wars.
Well, I wasn't there, but like all Sith, Revan and Malak turned on each other. After they turned on the Jedi, of course.
Now, this is where you kind of get to pick how the first game ended. I'm not going to do any spoilers or anything, even though I do know the game is decades old at this point, and probably anyone who was going to play it has played it and knows the twist in it, but I'm not going to, just in case there are a few people out there who are interested in playing it. So at the end of the first one there are several outcomes. Raven can either save the Jedi, Raven can take over the Jedi, or there is a kind of neutral one where he kind of doesn't save the Jedi but also doesn't destroy them themselves. He leaves them to fall apart. But I think with this one, because it's a nice happy day, you know, tomorrow is the Revenge of the Sith, so let's make today nice and happy. And I was led to believe Raven saved the Jedi and the Republic. That's the one we want.
I guess. There's rumors all over space about it. All I heard was Revan returned to pay Malik back for trying to kill her in the first place. You know women.
And again, because in the first one, Revan can be a male or a female, this is where you get to choose what Revan was. So, I heard Revan's redemption involved her stopping Malik, and she had no choice but to fight him.
Well, I wasn't there, thankfully. But I heard what she was like during the Mandalorian Wars, and it sounded like she was quick to wipe out anyone who crossed her.
The males are bad enough, but when a woman falls to the dark side, you better space yourself before they catch you.
Okay, so there we go. We've just confirmed that Revan was a woman in this storyline. And yep, I've got more questions.
Look, no offense or anything, but your weird half-naked interrogation isn't my idea. Hey, wait a minute. You're that Jedi the miners were talking about. Where is everybody?
I don't know. The facility seems abandoned.
The miners can't all be gone. But if they are... Look, hey, let me out and I can help you. I can. I've gotten out of trouble countless times.
Okay, so again, because we've got a high persuade, we can try to persuade them.
This facility isn't a military installation, which means we may have a chance. You shut down this cell security field and I can reroute the emergency system so we can get to the hangars. We grab a ship and then we fly out of here.
Okay, and here's our chance now again to get light or dark side points. So persuade with one thing first. The patients in the medical bay were killed with a lethal dose of sedatives. Know anything about that? Or we can say, try and, hint that we think it was him. But at the moment, he's not done anything, and he is trapped behind a force field. So we'll just go with persuade.
Huh? What are you talking about?
And then, because obviously we were just trying to get any information out of him possible, but he didn't know anything, so I'll just go switch off the cage. But if you try and run, I'll cut you down without a second thought.
Great. Now to business. Let's get to the command console.
Okay, so let's go.
Alright, here we are. Now this console is set on automatic hail. You may have heard it when you came in. The asteroid drift charts are constantly being updated, so it sends out a transmission to incoming vessels so they don't get crushed into space dust. The hail warns them to keep their distance until orbital drift charts are transmitted, and then provides docking instructions to incoming ships, usually freighters. Thing is, you can bounce that same transmission back to the comm here. Suddenly you've got access to the communication system from the inside. Pure Bazak. The console's ours. Now, all we need to do is reactivate the turbo lifts, cancel the emergency lockdown. Hey!
And of course, it wasn't going to be that simple. What's wrong?
This system's been severed from the main hub, after it was locked down from the moat. You can't even reroute the system, it's been cut clean.
And because we do have a decently high repair skill, we can say that wouldn't be standard procedure in an emergency lockdown.
No. Someone tried to lock down this whole level tight and leave us here, trapped.
Is there anything we can do?
I doubt it. All we have is communications back. For all the good trying to shout in a vacuum will do us.
Can we contact the miners?
We could try. But if the miners were trying to trap you up here and probably kill you, why not call them and chat? I don't think a friendly call is going to wake them up.
Maybe there's something logged in the terminal that can give us some answers.
Be my guest. Not much else we can do. The comm's all yours.
Oh, we actually got a dark side point there. Ooh, oh well, never mind. As I say, it doesn't matter if we go light or dark. Let's just have a look. We did do this before, but now we've got more access.
Tracked the freighter in. Was lucky it wasn't destroyed when it drifted into the asteroid field. Not much on board. One damaged droid, one annoying protocol droid, and a lot of bodies. Sent the survivor to medical and the others to the morgue. Didn't recognize the ship's ID code, so we transmitted it to the Republic for some answers. Questioned the protocol droid about what happened. Says his master, the survivor, I guess, was on the Republic ship the Harbinger. It suffered an engine failure. He says the survivor was a passenger on the vessel and a Jedi. If so, that's gonna mean trouble. Inventoried the bodies and cargo. Everything matches the protocol droid's story. The T3 droid had seized up, so we left it in storage in standby mode. Don't know what code will access it. It could be it's voice activated for all we know. We put the protocol droid to work in maintenance, sorting the mining droid comm routines and updating the recognition sensors. And to shut him up. When the survivor recovers, hopefully we can get him off this station before there's trouble between the work shifts. Word of the Jedi leaked out and the miners aren't sure what to do with him. Still no word from the Republic, but I've sent out a broadcom transmission for records on this Ebon Hawk. One of the miners said it used to be a smuggling vessel. Accidents are making the miners restless. 2 miners were drilled by a droid's mining laser, and those blasts in the ventilation tunnels nearly caused the whole facility to blow.
Okay, so just going through there's just a bit of more backstory about what happened when you turned up. And as we're going through the comms, we have actually connected to a droid. So, can you read me? Do a diagnosis, then follow my instructions. We're trapped up on the administration level. Can you unlock the turbo lifts? Is there some other way out of here besides the turbo lifts there? I'd rather risk it than be trapped up here. Okay, so now we get to control our little robot friend, and while today we didn't actually see it, you actually get to control this robot during the prologue, and it's actually this robot that helps you get onto the station. But for now, we are just going to open this box and get some components there. And we're just going to have a quick look around to see what else we can scavenge. Repair kits. Now repair kits are the equivalent of med kits, but obviously for robots. A few more components there, so we can build stuff later on. And thankfully this robot does have some lockpicking, but it's also got a fight. So yeah, he's got a weapon on him, so that's okay. So he doesn't have any abilities other than his basic strikes. There we go. Check any of these for anything left over, and some more sonic detonators. Before we go down there, gaming logic says check everywhere before you move on. Okay, oh, okay, maybe this is the way it wanted us to go. There's the Ebon Hawk there. So before we go up there, because I'm guessing that's the way it wants us to go, let's just check this door here. Okay, so we can only get through there with explosives. Okay, not a problem. Well, as we've got the little cutscene on this side, let's just work our way up here and have a look what hangar controls there are. Have we got any missing parts? No, we don't have enough to repair it at the minute. So let's just see what's in these crates. Maybe there's some parts in here. Okay, repair kit. Another repair kit. Okay, so just a few repair kits for if we get damaged. Okay, can we get through here? Nope, impossible. Okay, so the impossible ones are either ones that you can't get through yet, that the story won't let you, or they are too high a level for you to get through. So we have no choice then but to come this way now. There is another fight down here, but let's get closer before we attack. There we go. Dead, and another one around here. There we go. Okay, it's a scavenger fuse, but no, but there is a container over here. There we go. I like my little robot friend. You'll notice that the robots are always happy and nice. You don't often get, you know, your R2s, your T3s and whatnot. All these droids just go about the business without a care, yet they're always so intelligent. And to be honest, if it wasn't for these, I think the galaxy would have fallen to the dark side a long time ago. These are the true heroes. You can hit. Hit. Closer. There we go. Let's go further down now. Through it. So we've got an iron blast, components and parts. Okay, so we'll have a look at them in a minute before we go on. Oh, corpse, there we go. All the way around, there we go. So we've got a data pad there. Purged the fuel lines, and I found 3 sonic charges attached inside. I checked the work logs, and only droids have been in the area. I tried to contact security as soon as I found the explosive, but I can't get a signal through. I've removed the remote detonators, and I'll keep the explosives on me until I can put them in a secure hold. So there we go, we've got the explosives we need now to get through that other door. And more robots on the way to try and stop us. But these ones have shields, so we will need to use the sonic detonators first. Missed. So, try again. So we're taking that shield down now. And there we go. Hit them with one of them and they're down in one go. Up here, and I'm sure there's still more this way. It's a nice, peaceful game so far. So here we go. Right, we'll place one of the sonic mines on the door and get out of there. There we go. So, oh, here we go. Here's another friend, but no, he can't be repaired, so we're not going to get any help from him or her, I'm not sure. Some more bits and pieces to pick up there, and there we go, there's some very nice stuff. There we go. Brilliant. Right, so not much in here, it's just a few extra items to get, but now we should be able to get through these doors up here. Not that one. Have we got the parts actually to open? Let's see if we can now repair. Yeah, we do. Okay. We could get the map. You know what, might as well while we're here, so we can have a look around. And emergency controls, so we could repair them or check the state. So we'll repair first. So run a diagnosis on the damaged systems. Success. Access to the Paragus emergency subsystem are being routed to a fuel deposit computer terminal. and the connection circuits have been burned out with a mining laser preventing remote access. Okay, so we use our computer now to check the status of the emergency subsystem. And we've got 2 spikes, so we can open the doors to hangar 25 and we can open the doors to the fuel deposit. So now they're both open, and just quickly go through the the cameras to see if there's anything we need to worry about. But there's nothing there, so we're okay. And the comm, let's see if we can run a diagnosis on the communications. Looks as if the communication was purposely burned out. Even if you had the parts, you don't think you could connect it. Okay, no problem. So that's that done. Now let's move on to the next section and some more fighting. These are relatively easy enough to take care of. Especially with the extras that we have picked up. So just keep going. There we go, got some more bonuses there, but I see some robots over there. A few more, so keep an eye out for them when we get round that way. Before we go through it, let's just have a look what we've got here. So we've got a flamethrower, iron blast and iron striker. Let's put the iron blast in, as we are fighting against robots. And we'll put the optimized interface and we'll give us a computer +2. Okay. And yeah, that's all we've got at the moment, so let's carry on, and wouldn't you know it, more mining bots. Now we are taking some mine damage, but I'm not sure about that at the moment. There we go. See what else we can find before moving on. Okay, so onto the fuel deposit. This is the area we needed to get to. Along here, and can we hack through this? No, it's either too high a level or not mission accessible yet. Same with these ones, I'm guessing. Yep. So, there we go. There's a terminal right here. Okay, so there we go, we've opened the emergency hatch, so we can now move on, and our robot friend has just been attacked.
So is that stupid droid of yours gonna come through or not?
Give him a little more time, he'll be alright.
Well, I'm beginning to think I was a little better off in my... Hey, what do you know? A little cargo cylinder came through.
Looks like it. It looks like it, but it's strange. He didn't contact us on the comm.
If he got the turbo lifts working, then we should have a clear run to the hangar.
The turbo lifts are locked down manually, so I had him open the emergency hatch.
Wait. Don't tell me you're taking that hatch down into the mining tunnels. Are you? That explosion I heard came from below. There's probably nothing down there except superheated rock and collapsed blast tunnels. You'd be an idiot to go down there.
Well, we are a Jedi, so I guess we're gonna have to go anyway, so maybe, but it's the only way out, and it's better I risk my life than yours.
You're either really brave or really crazy, or both.
Both.
Alright, I'll try to monitor things from up here. Be careful. The only thing moving down there is likely to be mining droids, so don't be playing hero too hard. Not that I care what happens to you or anything. I just don't want to be trying to get off this rock by myself.
Your concerns are noted. I'll be going.
I'll keep the comm link open. I may be able to guide you through the tunnels from up here. Don't know if the signal will hold if you get too deep, though.
Okay, so I've got a comm link now. That's handy. There we go, and another light side point there. And he's just doing a little moonwalk. Right, back now towards the emergency hatch. And you can see there we do have 4 speed, so let's just use that. There we go. Nice and quick. Into here and down to the tunnels.
Can you read me?
Oh. Yes, for a minute I thought you were Kree.
What did you say? Your signal's crammed with static. There's a lot of interference down there, probably caused by that explosion. Still, it looks like there's a route down to the Paragus fuel depot. If the passages haven't collapsed, that explosion knocked out most of the sensors. There should be an emergency crate in the next room. Watch yourself. There's a lot of droid broadcasts in that area, but I can't pin them down.
I'll be careful then. If you detect anything, signal me.
Will do. And be careful down there.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we go into here, I think that is where we will call a break. Don't worry, because soon part 2 of today's special will be going up. But I thought I would just break him down into a few short episodes just for today to see how that plays out. And for those of you worrying about Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, that will be up tonight at 8 PM as usual. But for now, I've been Sankey84. This has been May the 4th be with you. See you soon.